Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Raso, and welcome to the Film Photography Podcast, the podcast about film photography.
How long have you been, going out of your mind here?
Where,
Seriously.
in my life?
No, well, I was talking just about during this lockdown, but...
Oh.
I mean, do you feel like you're starting to get a little eccentric?
Well, the problem, talking now with me is Mr. John Fedele.
How you doing?
Yes. And this is a bonus episode. A bonus episode because, desperate times calls for desperate measures. And I want to stay connected with people. And we're exploring new technology. So while we're recording our audio podcast, we're using the old Zoomy Zoom to do a conference amongst ourselves that I hope to share.
How's my hair? I didn't even think about my hair.
Your hair looks good, John.
I never think about my hair when I come into the podcast.
We're not quite ready for live.
No.
Like a live YouTube.
I don't think so.
And if you saw it here, like you see our shitty background, but if you saw it here, we're set up, and I kid you not, like
cardboard
boxes.
Should I show them? Should I pan? I'll pan with the camera. Ready? I'm going to expose you. Can you see that?
Now, these are Ilford boxes.
Okay, well, that's different.
And my other laptop
Look at this lamp.
Is on a... And the other box is a Kodak box.
Oh, Christ.
And you are on a Kodak Color Plus 200 box.
Well, we're in good company. This looks like my first bachelor apartment.
Yeah.
You use boxes for tables.
So, we're attempting to catch up to technology and to offer this also on our YouTube channel called Film Photography Tube. And then hopefully inching towards doing a live YouTube, which would be a lot of fun, and I wouldn't mind doing it. And John, like anything else, I truly believe it's what you get. Once you immerse yourself in it and do it regularly, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Exercise, eating right, all that stuff. Yeah. Whatever, eating poorly.
Yes.
Whatever it might be, once you get used to it, it becomes second nature and it'll be fine. Yeah. Now, I will say on the video feed, I'm seeing the side of your head. You have to...
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
It's
not a good angle?
Just people looking at your ear.
All that ear hair.
Yeah. So this is a bonus episode.
Bonus!
And I have a series of bonus episodes coming up that I'd like to inform everyone.
Okay.
We'll have our regular May 15th podcast, of course. I don't know what will be on that episode yet. But we're planning another episode with myself, John, and Matt Marash. And topics we didn't discuss last time were the FPP X-ray film, 4x5.
It's going to be all large format stuff with him?
It's going to be mostly large format. I mean, I don't think I can get through a podcast without discussing, movie film.
Of course not.
But Matt is our FPP large format guy. And frankly, he doesn't get enough FPP time.
No. Well, he's way out there. But now the technology is bringing us closer together.
Yes, it's true. It's
true. We can bring him in over here.
As a matter of fact, I'm very aware of bad audio. I mean, I
People
watch
spank you big time when.
But I watch the news every day, and I see lots of Skype interviews on news and the audio's horrible.
It's like you say, whatever happens, if you hear that over and over and over and over again, it becomes acceptable. Remember when distortion in audio used to be unacceptable? Now, because everybody does it,
folks, it's true. It's true. When John and
the
I,
norm now.
When John and I got into the business, we wanted to make movies. I'd like to think we still want to make movies, but our goal was to make a movie.
Yeah.
And back when we were coming up through college in the 80s and then into the 90s, it was inconceivable to shoot something on a digital or video format for broadcast.
Yeah.
Inconceivable.
It would never even be considered.
Never. And then 2 films came out that changed everything. Number 1, 3 films. Number 1, Blair Witch Project.
All right.
Number 2, Last Broadcast, which was Blair Witch-esque.
Right.
And number 3, which really blew it up, 28 days later.
Oh, really? Yeah, that was digital, wasn't it?
It was shot on a Canon.
Forgot about that.
It was shot on a Canon.
Yeah.
Whatever the Canon equivalent of 8mm was video.
Was that tape?
Tape.
Oh.
And I watched it recently, and it looks it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Looks crappy.
Doesn't look good. No. I mean, it looks as good as it's going to look for that format. I think they did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
But it was a game changer because in the 90s, when John and I started producing movies that actually got broadcast on HBO, Showtime, titles will not be mentioned, they were shot on film.
Yep.
I mean, we went out of our way to shoot
16
on
millimeters.
16 millimeter film because we felt we didn't have any other choice.
That's all that was laid down to us at that time.
Well, I try to stay true to it in the film that you and I produced together, title not mentioned.
It's a good movie. You shouldn't be embarrassed by it.
But people want to research. They have the whole Google in front of them. They could look up.
I guess so. They're Google.
But people like Zach and other folks, once digital was accepted, I mean, it wasn't a matter of shooting film because they wanted to shoot film. It really was a matter of what is the cheapest way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't need to shoot on film anymore.
Nope. And the workflow was a little bit easier because you didn't have to send it out.
But it's nice to
download it and edit it right there on the same laptop.
It's nice to have nice audio.
Yes, it is.
But
it's no longer a given, though.
So Matt Marash is all set. He has a recording little studio in his house.
Right.
Owen McCafferty in Cleveland, Ohio. Matt is in Columbus, Ohio. Owen has a Zoom set up, so we're ready to go.
All right. Well, we can pipe him in.
I'm sending Leslie a Zoom microphone.
Oh,
so we could pipe her in.
Great.
Because I think that I would like the quality to be as best as possible.
Of course, is.
So, but what we have lined up is Matt Marash. We're going to be talking about FPP X-ray film, and the great thing about X-ray film is that it's inexpensive and it gives a very different look to your.
And you can get that developed, or you can develop it in regular. Chemistry, or it has its own?
We've been developing it in the new D96 FPP D96, but it can be developed in other developers, and it's listed on the product page at the filmphotographystore.com. But Matt's going to give the review of it.
We'll talk more about it next time.
And we're also working on bringing in more black and white, traditional black and white film for 4x5.
Oh, for 4x5.
Because I'm very keen on bringing film to people at a lower cost, because if you invest in
that's your mantra.
If you invest in the 4x5 camera,
you don't want to spend lots of money on films.
I mean, you want to get the groove of it before you invest in like the expensive color film.
You don't want to learn on $10 a shot.
And then speaking of the FPP D96. The D96, Matt's going to be reviewing that as well.
Okay, cool. So what are we going to do here today? You're like over there, and I'm over here. You got letters? Got listener letters?
I'm trying to find an email because we are talking about D96, and it turns out that many films actually are developed, look better in D96.
Oh.
It's a film for motion picture. It's a film developer for motion picture films.
For like 50, what's the motion picture film that you sell?
X2, which is Eastman Double X.
All right.
So last week, Lomography released a new film called Babylon 13.
That's interesting.
It's an ISO 8.
What?
Black and white film.
Inspired by you, I bet.
Oh,
what was the lowest ISO they ever released? Come on.
This is the lowest ISO Lomography has ever released. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. Podcast at filmphotographyproject.com. I think this is the first low ISO film
Single-digit ISO film for sure.
that Lomography has released.
Do they have like a 50? No.
Now, yes, I think they used to have a 50.
Yeah,
Maybe it was a red scale film.
probably.
But I'd like to think that we all inspire each other.
That's very diplomatic of you, Mike.
Yes, if only if I were that way in real life.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like Mother Teresa. Father
Folks
Michael.
listening, it's funny because John and I have such a relationship. It's almost like a marriage. And sometimes, I swear to God, I'm horrified
At the thoughts.
of how I snap at you sometimes. But you don't even pick it up because we're so,
I think it's funny. Because I know you.
I noticed it when Dave Northrup, we were outside shooting the 16 millimeter test for the Sonic film, and Dave was shooting.
Yeah.
And I looked at his behind the scenes footage, and I'm like snapping at you. It's just, I was embarrassed.
Really?
Yes. I'm
Was
like,
that bad? I didn't even
Well,
notice.
it's just, we all have to manage ourselves and be cognizant of our own shortcomings.
True.
And we all have it.
Absolutely. You have to have the desire to grow,
Yeah.
to move forward.
So it's taken me this long to come.
There's
come
still
up with
time,
that.
Michael.
Thank you.
There's still time.
Babylon 13. It's a new film. You get it over at Lomography. Go to the lomography.com. They're taking pre-orders.
They don't have a Kickstarter.
It's not a
for it this time?
Kickstarter. It's just it says, the email says, another surprise Lomography film of 2020. They're calling it Babylon Kino, black and white. It says ISO 13 in the email, but I think it might be an ISO 8. I'm not really sure. 8. I'm not really sure. Oh, but the reason I mention it, besides the fact of us giving props to the folks at Lomography, is that it lists D96 as the preferred developer.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's turning out that this developer, D96, is, as far as I'm concerned, magical. It's terrific.
It works in a lot of different film stocks.
It does. We sell it in a powder that makes 1 gallon, and you'd be able to process 50 plus rolls of film
Wow.
from that 1 gallon.
Cheap.
Yes. So we're going to do the special show with Matt Marash coming up. Mm-hmm. Owen McCafferty just did a new interview with Sam Sherman.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, Mr. Sam Sherman.
This is before face-to-face contact was prohibited, or he did it over the phone?
A phoner.
Oh, cool.
A phoner. And Sam's going to talk about Eastern European cameras.
That should be a very interesting show.
Absolutely. So many cameras came out of Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Post-World War II, Russia went into Germany and basically took the plant.
Yeah. The Leica stuff. That's why all the Feds look like the Leicas.
Well, Leica, I think, is still in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, they stole the technology or they stole the cameras?
I think they stole the technology. Well, I don't want to say they stole it. I mean, they were
liberated
entitled. I guess that's debatable.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll have to let Sam
Let's
shed some light on it.
But for throughout the 20th century, up until the birth of the internet, an Eastern European camera just wasn't accessible by an American, unless
Never even heard of them.
never even heard of it. Unheard of. So we have that coming up. So we have a lot of bonus episodes coming up. And
What are we going to talk about on this episode?
this episode is just setting up the other episodes.
Oh, this is just a commercial?
This is. Well, I want to talk.
Dressed up for a commercial?
I want to talk about why these extra episodes are happening, and the extra episodes are happening because of our new FPPP people, also known as super subscribers.
Right.
What I didn't know was that we had this set up on our site to donate, where someone can click donate and click monthly subscription, where they would give whatever they want per month to the FPP.
You had this set up long time ago.
It's been set up forever.
Forever. And you never even thought about it.
I never mentioned it once.
Stoops.
So, and it started with
A listener
thank you, John.
whose name is
It started with
2 people. right? It was 2 people.
No, it started with the gent in England, Jeremy.
Right.
It started with Jeremy North. Like all of a sudden, it came in over the email. I'm like, "What's this?" I went to it. I saw, oh my God, someone named Jeremy North is subscribing per month, meaning every month gives. So I emailed him. I'm like, is this the Jeremy North we know and love in England? How would he respond? Yes, it is.
Of course it is.
Oh, no, you have to do the Phil Collins.
Of course it is. Oi! Who you think it is?
Exactly. And I feel like I feel like I'm in It's a Wonderful Life, not that grim scenario. I'm not ready to jump off of a bridge.
This is when you come home and all is right. It's like Jojo's paddles. Everybody's coming in. They're like throwing dollars into the hat.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, I felt like, because I just keep my mouth shut. All these years, we're just running so tight. Just so tight.
You just put your head down and work, and you weren't thinking about it.
Yeah,
you were just trying to get through the frickin' day.
When the gang comes in and we do the school donations, I mean, they have to be put up in hotels. There's food. You know, I mean, it just, when we do an event, the last event we did, even though I think it was like $25 admission, it's still a money losing event, because everyone shows up, has a great time, but guess who gets stuck?
Somebody's got to pay the bill.
Yeah.
It's like everybody walks out and then they're like, Mr. Raso, who's going to deal with this?
The thing is, I don't really care. Like, money does not run my life. I don't, like people like my Uncle Patsy would call me stupid.
To your face?
Yes.
You're stupid, kid.
Yeah.
You're stupidest nephew what I got.
You got to care about the money. So I'm just trying to run a better FPP, a more funded FPP. And I didn't realize, and I had no idea, that the folks out there listening care so much. Mm-hmm. So Jeremy started...
That's the karma, Mike.
You think so?
Because you're not in it for the money. You're in it for the love and for moving things forward. And, people respond to that.
I don't know what I would do without film as a medium. I don't know what I would do. I can't explain why film as a medium is so important to me.
It's just your thing, man.
It's just my thing. And I think other people who are into passionate about art, whether it's sound recording or
sculpturing or collage or painting, whatever.
It's the same thing for them.
That's what speaks to you, man.
Yeah. So folks that are what I call super subscribers, and then in an email thank you, I tell them they're FPPP people. Film Photography Project Philanthropists.
That's a big word for you.
It certainly is. I had to look it up. So just since we last met, John, which was only a few weeks ago, a bunch of people have become super subscribers.
Have become the FPPPers.
We have Robert Squire.
Robert.
Some of these names I can't... Oh, this one. Some names I can't pronounce. Yorgo Dormamekos.
Yorgo.
Thank you. That's a great name.
Yorgo D. What up?
William Green. Thank you, William.
Willie G.
Elise Keeling. Thank you. Thank you
Ellie
very
K.
much. EK.
EK.
Catherine Moore.
Cat.
Andrew Bartram.
Wow, really? Oh, Andrew, our good friend Andrew.
Our good friend Andrew.
Yeah.
Another classic FPP listener.
Yeah.
Well, if you listen
we met him on the photo shoots in England.
If you listened from
way back.
If you listened from 2010 and before, you're a classic FPP listener.
Yeah. Yeah, he's classic.
Great guy. Mark Fole. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, we heard that name.
Craig Dundee. Thank you, Craig.
No relation to Crocodile.
Right. So, short and sweet, if you feel like you want to get behind the FPP and what we're doing.
That's a lot of people.
Yes, a lot of people.
That's great.
So, you could be a super subscriber, too. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. Like, I feel like it's very, like, I feel driven to produce more shows.
Yeah.
Because of this. And then I'm trying to see, like, what else I have, like, up my sleeve that I can come up with to make to reward them, because we're not on a organized platform of like a Patreon.
Right. Patron.
If you're a patron, you get certain levels, and then you unlock this or that.
Patron of the arts.
And somehow, folks, I feel like that by telling you that we're going to unlock the student films that John and I shot, that is not going to cut it. Let's go to our Instagram, which is Film Photography Project on Instagram. Although we're not live, I put the word out saying, hey, John and I are doing a show we're going to record. Do you have any questions for the FPP?
And?
The first question is from P. Wagner66. He says, I'd like to know whether John, that's John Fedele, plays all the drum parts live on the Pink Delicate recordings, and whether he used Pro Tools. Then he says, great drumming, by the way.
Oh, that's nice, Paul. Yes, I've been having a back and forth with him on Instagram, because I actually joined Instagram.
And what is your name on Instagram, John?
Big Head Sue 2, Too.
Okay.
Because there's already a Big Head Sue.
Okay.
So
it's some woman with a huge head.
It's a girl named Sue who actually has a big head, probably.
Okay.
I'm copping the name. But I responded to him and I did play all of the drums live. Everything was live, but I know every flub and mistake I made that I would go back and fix with Pro Tools were the choice, but all that stuff was live.
I will say this, and John and Kevin Neblong were the Pink Delicates. They have 2 LPs out.
Kevin's still putting music out.
I want to spread the word, and he's on
SoundCloud.
Yeah. And it's difficult to find. He doesn't promote it at all.
No, he does no self-promotion.
He's not on Instagram.
He's an artist. He posts it. He doesn't promote it. He doesn't toot his own horn.
He needs a manager.
He does. He's not good at self-promotion.
I'm trying to help.
You want to be his manager?
Someone sent me an email message, said, on episode, it was really a long time ago, episode da-da-da, what's this song? I listened to it. I knew it was a Kevin song. I don't know where I got it from. It was probably one of those, because like every 6-8 months, Kevin will email me, say, here's a new tune.
Right.
It probably is on some old computer. Like, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But I sent that listener to the SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Where you have all these newer songs that Kevin did solo. So, but anyhow, the 2 Pink Delicate albums featuring John Fedele, what I noticed is that the first one, Who Stole the Quiet Day, is produced so much better than the second one. Why is that?
When the first one was done, Dane had his studio, and Dane produced it, and we were all hands-on about it. And when the second one came out, it was just piecemealed together, copped together from sessions from different studios. It wasn't consistent, wasn't the same producer, and it was just kind of put together because by that time, we didn't have a home to record in. So, home, I have no home. Hunted, despised, living like an animal. The jungle is my home. I don't know the rest. They say, I will develop a race of superhuman atomic men that will rule the world.
That's Bela Lugosi from an Ed Wood film.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know which one. I could look it up.
Plan 9, isn't it?
No, it's not Plan 9.
And Martin, I only know because from the Ed Wood movie by Tim Burton, it's a speech that Martin Landau does.
Yeah.
In his Academy Award-winning performance of Bela Lugosi.
Pancho Ballard says...
Pancho?
That's our good friend Darren Riley.
Darren.
He says on Instagram, I would like to know... I'd like to ask you both, what was the last record you listened to whilst scanning
Whilst.
Oh, whilst.
It's English, you know.
Look at all these responses.
Yeah, I answered that too. I thought that was an Instagram thing. I didn't know that was for this.
It is an Instagram thing, but it is for this too.
Oh, okay.
Well, John, you want to go first?
Well, I sent out on Instagram a very nice picture of a brand new pressing of Yeti by Amandul 2. That's on splatter vinyl, 180 gram, just awesome. that I played over and over again while I had a very heavy-duty scanning session last week.
I haven't been scanning, but I haven't been scanning in such a long time that I'm just going to say the last album I listened to whilst laying horizontal on my soft couch.
The couch was scanning you.
Is the new super thick vinyl release of Jaco Gardner.
Right.
Somnium.
That I've listened to because you gave me a copy of that.
Yes, I did.
And the other one, what's it called? Hypno something?
Hypnophobia?
Hypnophobia, yeah. Those two records are great.
Yeah. Jaco Gardner.
Right. Jacco.
Gardner.
Right. Gardner.
As in Chauncey.
Chauncey.
Yes. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see what else is going on the Instagram. Zoe Melf says...
Zoe myself, I thought that is. Zoe Melf.
It says Zoe Melf. Zoeymelf. Zoe myself.
I always thought it was Zoe myself. I always scanned it.
A couple of stand-up guys we're looking at here, talking about us. Thank you. Do you plan... This is from... This is from Big Rig Twang.
Okay, that's good.
Do you plan to sell 16mm cameras in the future?
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, we're not going to certainly regularly sell 16mm cameras at thefilmphotographystore.com, but, and I know a lot of people are looking for these, I may sell my Canon Scoopix 16mm camera.
Why? Because you got too many?
Because I have too many 16mm cameras, and now I've pared it down to what, like this Keystone. I shoot with the Keystone, I shoot with the Bolex, and I shoot regular 8. So I have the Canon Scoopix.
What about the Ari?
Well, the Ari I'm keeping.
Yeah.
Ariflex.
Yeah.
But because we got the Ariflex up and running, and I have the Bolex, and I have how many do you need? So what I want to do is sell the Canon Scoopix so that I could buy more regular 8 cameras.
Oh my gosh. See, now you're just shifting your focus.
Yeah, so we're not going to carry them regularly, but we are going to I basically just put it in the store, and then the money just goes into the FPP. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So. But if you're interested in my Canon Scoopix, anyone, podcast at filmphotographyproject.com. Let me know. Right now, I'm looking at my cell phone. I'm going to see if anyone and Flickr. What?
The Flickr. Do you go on the Flickr anymore?
Yeah, once.
Like the
yeah,
Flickr.
I do.
I still upload all my photos for storage up there.
I like the Flickr. Oh, some serious questions here. Do you think COVID-19 will devastate film manufacturing and the analog photography community as a whole?
No,
I don't. I don't think. There's some long-term effects. I mean, I listen to news, and they're talking about nothing about film photography, but they talk about the long-term effects on businesses.
Yeah.
That in the short term, businesses will get through, but then once things normalize as best as possible, there's still repercussions.
Yeah, like what? Like
market change, supply chain, supply and demand. You can't get parts anymore because of this, that, the other thing. So there are many factors involved.
Oh, Mike, I'm scared. Is this the beginning of the end?
Well, as of right now, companies like Kodak and Ilford, they had very short shutdowns.
Did they? Oh,
yes.
They did have shutdowns.
Yeah, they had very short shipping shutdowns. But I know for a fact Eastman Kodak in Rochester, where the film is actually manufactured, that is still operational. Brad Bull says, will a CPL filter adversely affect the results of Lomo Purple? So,
what's a CPL filter?
Well, for folks listening, Lomo Chrome Purple is a color 35mm and 120 film made by Lomography that basically is a faux infrared film. It gives you the same look of an infrared film with no filter.
Huh.
So, Brad, I'm with John. I don't know what a CPL filter is.
I'll have to wait for Matt.
Matt,
I'll have to ask him next time we talk to him.
you're right. I don't know. But
I don't know, Mac.
the selling point of the Lomo Chrome Purple is that you don't need any filters to get the effect.
It's a beautiful film.
I would say experiment.
Ooh, lovely. Exactly. Put it on for a couple of shots, take it off.
Joe Jonas says, 8mm film meant for flipping and cutting.
Yeah.
Is that pre-cut in any way, or can you use it in some 16mm still movie cameras as is?
That's interesting.
That is very interesting, and I think, yes. So,
Yeah,
for
why
example, if you have the uncut, basically when you buy a roll of 8.8, it's 16mm.
They don't cut it till they develop it.
Correct. So if you buy it, you could put that in your Minolta 16.
Right.
Be a hell of a lot of sprockets, because there's a lot of sprockets.
Rockets.
But you could absolutely use it. But Joe Jonas,
Yeah.
we are now selling Minolta 16 camera, which is 16mm film unperfed. So,
Why, that camera takes unperfed film?
well, the Minolta 16, ideally you want 16mm with no perforations, because perforations are not used to advance the film.
Really?
There's a little gear in the cartridge that advances the film.
Oh.
See that?
Yeah. Making whoopee over there.
This,
What do you got on paper?
there you go.
The emails?
This is from Zoe myself. No, really.
My elf. Zoe me elf. Melf. I always thought it was Zoe myself. God, that's stupid. Dear FPP, I have a lot of DED. What does that mean?
Dead.
Dead? Oh. I have a lot of dead Polaroid film on hand. I keep it around because I hope to play with it someday. It's unusable because the Polaroid goop has dried up. Oh. Do you know of anyone who sells a reagent that could be used in the place of the dried dead goop, or possibly sources for recipes we could use to create our own goop?
That's very interesting. You mean to almost like with a needle, like inject
With surgical precision, inject new goop in there.
in
How
all
about just water, just
in-
to revive it? Maybe it's just dried. It
all
just needs-
so on a Polaroid picture, you have a packet that when it goes through the rollers, it bursts the packet. Yeah, and it
an orgasmic splash.
yes, it goes across your image and coats the image with the developer. It's a monobath essentially.
It's like,
like developer and
jam
fixer.
on toast.
Yes. But in all my years of talking crazy about Polaroid, Polaroid this, Polaroid that, of all those years, I have never, ever
Thought
or received a question
Trying to
of how to
revive.
reject. Because, remember you get the dry packs?
Yeah. It's very disappointing.
We have a new letter from Rudy from Ireland. But before that, John,
Before I start that, I just wanted to say, Zoe, my elf, said, thanks a lot. I've been listening since 2010. Haven't missed an episode yet. It's comforting to know you guys are out there, especially now. Best podcast in the galaxy. Whoa. Long live the FPP.
folks listening, I am humbled by the kindness. I mean, we kind of just do what we do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But
kind
the,
of
but the sincerity and real care for what you're doing comes through. That's why it's so effortless with you, Mike, because you're not putting on airs. You're just doing what comes natural.
well, I think that's very important for any whether it's a not-for-profit organization who's providing a service or a business or whatever it might be, or like we were talking off camera about the alarm company.
Dumbass alarm company guy who answers his phone like, yeah.
If you're behind,
He's not in it for the love of alarms and security.
It's the truth,
And that's obvious.
I remember years and years ago when a guy came and put a new hot water heater in my house. John, I swear to God, I was watching him work. I was in awe. I had because I have no skill
Oh.
when it comes to like taking it out.
Because he
hooking
was
up.
like using the blowtorch.
Yeah,
and
no. I said,
soldering.
whoa. I'm like, that's incredible. The guy looked at me like I was from outer space.
He probably thought you were hitting on him. Because you saw the crack of his butt.
Yeah, so
the plumber's crack. That turns you on, doesn't it, Mike?
Because-
Doesn't it, Mike?
Because when people email, they ask very specific questions. One was recently about, hey, I bought a packet of D76. I want to make a gallon. Can I use half of it? Can I use half of the powder to,
Make a half gallon.
make a half gallon and then use the rest later?
Right.
And I pulled Leslie into the conversation online in the email because it's an excellent question. And it has a very specific answer that is mind-blowing. The answer is you cannot, because in that packet of, we're going to talk about this when Leslie's here.
Yeah.
In that packet of D96 powder, there are other chemical compounds that interact with each other as powder. And
That you can't separate.
the distribution of the powder is meant to be mixed all at once, because if you mix half of it, the distribution of the various...
It'll be off.
Yes, it'll be off and
Be a
will
little
not
bit off.
be a lot off.
Oh, really?
And that's so that's what we offer the community. Like someone asks a question, we certainly don't know all the answers, but I can
You'll
contact.
find out.
If I don't know, contact Leslie. Contact
Matt.
You're not on the phone anymore. You're not there anymore.
Just don't touch anything.
There you are.
How's that?
Good.
My daughter's trying to FaceTime her friend, or one of our friends is trying to FaceTime her.
I'll contact Matt. I'll contact Owen. I'll contact Leslie. I'll contact Mark O'Brien.
Yeah. You got the distribution network. You got people. You got your people.
Right. So that's what
Right?
makes it
You
wonderful.
know a guy.
Yeah, that Noah guy.
You know a guy.
Yes.
I don't know, but I know a guy or gal.
Our next letter is from Rudy from Ireland.
Rudy can't fail. Do you know that song?
No, but I
By
remember.
The Clash. I always thought the name of the song was Rudy Carfea. Because he says, Rudy Carfea. He's saying Rudy can't fail. They're talking about one of their roadies that always gets them what they need. And
What
the
is
name
his-
of the song is called Rudy Can't Fail.
What is Rudy's name?
Rudy's name is Rudy Jackma.
From Ireland. Where in Ireland?
From Ireland. Oh, I can't even pronounce it. Leixlip.
Oh.
Lelip is the X silent.
What's Rudy have to say?
Oh, jeez, Sean.
No, don't please. Not the bad accent.
Thank you for your informative email. No, all right, I won't do it. Presently, we are here in Ireland in near complete lockdown. The government has passed emergency legislation that allows the police to arrest people who travel more than 2 miles. So he's saying people can get arrested who travel more than 2 kilometers.
Oh, my goodness.
That's less than a mile, less than 2 miles in American
Okay,
speak.
that's severe.
Yeah. Unless with special permission. That extends to people whose services are considered urgent. Medical workers, transport of food supplies, supermarket staff, bus and train drivers, etc. The building in which I have a studio has been closed.
That's rough.
Blows. My income has nearly stopped. Ugh. Sorry, Rudy. I hope to be able to get back to my photo hobby soon. I will eventually require chemicals for film development. I believe that it is possible to ship it in powder form, right?
Yes.
To Ireland?
Powders can ship internationally, yes.
Not
Not liquid.
liquids. Why not? Too volatile?
We ship liquid. Our liquid kit is our E6 color slide kit. We ship that to Canada. No issues. And I think we have shipped it to the UK with no incident.
Really?
We have not tried to ship it to Ireland. We can
Part
try.
of UK. It's part of the UC.
We can try.
Well, he's looking. Luckily, he's looking for powder form, so he
Okay.
wants the D97,
D96 or D76.
D75. We all hope that the U.S. government will not be too rash opening businesses. In America, the outbursts of the president do seem a bit extreme. On the other hand, he is human, and he must be under great pressure. Do you ever consider that, Mike?
Yes.
The pressures that President Trump is under, or any president?
I emailed Rudy back, and
Oh.
I complimented him. It's the first letter I've ever received who looked at our president here in the U.S., from the perspective of being a human being with some compassion.
Oh.
And the FPP is not we're not political. We don't
Right.
talk about politics at all. And quite frankly, we don't care about politics unless it's some kind of outlaw on like Kodak products.
On D74.
I've never heard someone say that before, and I complimented him.
Well,
because fact is that man, don't get me wrong, when I say this or when I think it, I hear people screaming.
Yeah.
You can't even mention the president's name without getting a very big reaction from people. So if I say something like, he really needs a hug, people get upset at me.
It's a very compassionate way to look at it. And you know what? I think that's...
Yeah.
I think that's a very compassionate way to look at it. You know, I mean, the only way to heal all this division we have in this world is really, once social distancing is over, to really start to give people hugs. And not even just physical hugs, but mental hugs, you know? We're all just trying to get through the shit. We're all on the same page.
I agree. And the same could be said for any president.
Exactly.
President of Israel, the Prime Minister of the UK, whoever.
Well, he goes on to talk about the epidemic and prime ministers. Oh, wait a minute. He says, the prime minister of our government here is a qualified medical doctor and has reactivated his registration as a medical practitioner.
Now,
That's interesting.
Is there a different prime minister in Ireland?
Yes, Mike.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
It's called the Taoiseach. Taoiseach. Taoiseach.
Well, we need to look up where Rudy is from to see what part of Ireland he's from. To see, like...
It's not a big place.
Oh, okay.
It's a tiny little island, comparatively. Sorry, Rudy. I'm not trying to insult you or anything.
I'm unqualified to discuss it. Same thing when you talk about Wales. Americans, do we know Wales is its own thing that's part of the UK, the United Kingdom, but it's not part of England?
Isn't that where Tom Jones is from?
I think you're right.
I think so.
I think you're right.
And not WHALES, the sea mammal, right? We're talking about WALES,
Yes,
the
whales.
landmass.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thanks, Rudy.
Yeah.
Good point. Good on you. And hopefully things get back to normal for you, dude.
We heard from Dominic from Long Island.
Dominic. Oh, yo,
Yeah.
Dominic.
And Dominic was kind enough to send us an audio file, which we rarely ever get.
Never.
Never.
It's the first one ever.
Podcast at filmphotographyproject.com if you would like to send us just a little, keep it short and sweet, as my mom would say.
No more than 3 minutes.
Yeah, short. So, Dom,
Not your first take, that's 5 minutes. Do like your second or third take, that's pared down to 3 minutes.
Dom heard the podcast, John, that you and I did, where we talked about New Box One, which was the failed Kickstarter.
Right.
It's still there.
Right. But it's controversial about
controversial,
the way that,
and
it was handled and the communication problems.
We're not going to talk about it. We talked about it.
Right.
Like we said our piece on it. If you want to go back to a few episodes before this one to hear it.
But this is just someone's take on it.
I'm not going to play all of what Dom sent, but I want to play Dom because when I say to people like Paul in the UK at Analog Wonderland, do I have accent? Like, he doesn't answer me. He just chuckles.
Because he thinks that your accent is so extreme, but he ain't heard nothing till he heard Dom. Till he hears Dom.
Here's a little bit of Dom.
All right.
All right. Anyway, I love you guys. Keep up the great work you do on the show. What show? And be safe.
Thanks, Dom. Appreciate it. I appreciate him keeping in touch.
Right.
And his name is Dom. Yeah, you read that.
That's
a
classic.
It's a nice Italian name.
It's a beautiful name. You don't hear Dom anymore.
Dominic.
Dominique. Wow. Ciocchiola?
The best I ever
Is that
heard.
how you say it?
Yeah, I think so.
Ciucciola. Dominic Ciucciola. It doesn't get more Italian.
You remember our friend Tim
than that.
Fitzsimmons from the Comcast days? Tim.
Yeah, Tim Fitzsimmons, yeah.
You shot a few jobs with him.
I think I
You
shot
his wedding.
Tim Fitzsimmons, he kind of talked out of the side of his mouth.
He had the best story. He married an Italian-American girl.
Yeah.
And he is Irish.
Right.
And Tim does not translate to Italian name.
No.
So his father-in-law called him Dominic.
Is that right?
Yeah. He's like,
That's the go-to.
He would say, he'd be like, yeah, my name's Tim, and my father-in-law's calling me, hey, Dominic.
That's funny.
It's hilarious.
No. He's in the family now. Hey, you're in once you're in.
Exactly. We heard from Mike Sherman this month.
Oh, yeah?
Shaq Mati. He gave
That's
us all
right.
those treats.
Oh, Shaq Mati's like #1 best candy guy.
Shaq Mati, Shaq Mati.
Shock Mighty! Mike Sherman is his name.
All this is caused by UFOs. Yeah.
Super #1
Super
best
#1
candy guy.
best candy man.
#1. He sent us the Kiss Lego, everything.
Oh, my God.
He really is into Film Ferrania P30.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Do you like
I still
that
have
stuff?
I still have 3 rolls.
But
left.
have you seen any results yet?
Yes, of course. I shot 2 or 3 rolls.
It's like super...
Dig it.
It's like for...
It's
nice and thick.
It's heavy, yeah. Nice
Yeah.
and thick.
It's nice and
Exactly.
thick.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's a little heavy.
We also heard from...
Yeah, what did
Rose.
he say? What did Shaq Mati say? He just wanted to say tick? It was tick?
He sent us a link, which I could try to put the link up on the screen if for folks watching. Like everything we ever record for the podcast, the audio podcast, this is not the first time we have attempted the video podcast.
No.
We have a few failed attempts.
Why were they failed? We got we got lights and cameras.
We had
and
3
had to edit
cameras
it. It
going
was
at the same
mad.
time.
I was so mad. This might be easier. Even if we're in the same room, we could use this.
It says,
technology.
double check, did you get the Kiss stage Lego along with the snacks? Now,
Yes, we did.
we donated that to a Kiss, like someone who's going to be part...
Kiss fanatic.
Yeah, it's going to be part of a collection on a shelf.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
And when I gave it to him, he just about pooped himself. He had no idea it existed. He was thrilled. It went right next to his Kiss Pops. On his shelf, he has all 4 Kiss albums, the solo albums.
Yes.
And in front of those are the Kiss Pops. And now he will have the Kiss Lego minifigures to put in front of us.
Does he have children?
Yes.
His kids must rank on him for being into Kiss.
No, they're cool about it.
Okay.
They're into cartoons.
Depending
He's
on
also
your
into comic books and stuff. So they're 2 boys. It's a very testosterone-filled house. So
And we talked about the comic books made with real Kiss blood, right?
yes, supposedly.
Okay.
Real Kiss blood.
Yeah.
Kiss, I'm told, is a big rock group on some level of music, appealing to that portion of the population that finds its collective voice changing and reads comic books. Speaking of which, Kiss is going to have its own comic book soon, featuring the 4 strangely attired and hairy fellows to be printed by Arcata Graphics. Printed in, if you believe everything you're told, in real Kiss blood. To that end, Kiss flew into Buffalo today, yes, with a plane, a Brinks truck bringing a little white box, in which were, you guessed it, 4 vials of real Kiss blood, which were summarily dumped into some printing ink for the old comic book. Isn't that wonderful?
It's great.
It's great.
Perfect.
We also had a letter this show, from Warren Michael.
War and Peace.
And he says, I want to check in with you guys. Very uncertain time we're going through. Indeed. Indeed. Hats off to everyone out there. By the way, here in the U.S., I think it's at 7 p.m. or 7:30 in New York City. Because New York City is like ground zero. Everyone gets out at window at like 7 or 7:30.
Yeah, is that amazing?
Yeah.
And sings, claps,
Yep.
applauds all the workers.
In the UK, they do it at 8 p.m.
Just to be different?
No, I think they did it first, actually.
Oh, is that right?
I think so.
Oh,
it's
it's
like
a
British
great
TV.
tradition.
They do everything first.
Exactly. They're on top of shit.
Yeah, they are. But, hats off to everyone who's doing what they're doing. And hats off to the folks that are quarantined, that are sitting home, the folks who have
Or
lost
actually obeying the quarantine.
Yeah, and if you're lucky enough to maintain your job,
Yep.
if you lost your job, I mean, just have
Man.
hope. Really, it'll come out.
Yeah. Wait till it's over and comes out before you start thinking bad thoughts.
Yes.
Wait till it plays out, please, please.
Thank you, Warren Michael, for sending this. He talks about some things we talked about already, which is how will this economic downturn affect film? And we don't know, other than
Probably, but we don't know how yet.
Yeah, we don't know how it's going to affect anything.
Have you spoken with Phil?
The darkroom.com is still operating.
But, I mean, how's his supply chain? How's all that?
I'd have
Is
to
he
ask
able
him.
to access the chemicals?
Yeah, I'd have to ask him
That'd
that.
be interesting. I mean, that's, for me, a concern.
Yeah,
Because I love that guy.
yeah.
And I would hate for something to happen to the darkroom.
Talking about Phil and Keith,
Yeah, Keith Swan.
Trev,
Yeah.
over at the darkroom.com, Tracy, Joe in the lab.
I just found a bunch of photos that I took when we were out there.
Oh,
last year.
very nice. Are they on the Flickr yet?
Joe sitting back there working.
Joe in the lab.
Yep.
Yeah,
Phil and Keith and some of the workers behind the scenes.
yeah. And the same thing applies to other, like if you go to Dwayne's photo in Parsons, Kansas, they're currently closed.
Oh, really?
I mean, as of this recording.
Dang it. What about Clark Photo?
I didn't check in with Clark. I have to check in with Clark Photo. But
They're still printing on metal.
I received email regarding our motion picture services because we offer processing
Right.
and scanning. And currently,
You're still doing it, right?
we are. And luckily, our lab partner for color negative film is still going. And black and white processing and now E6 Ectochrome processing is all done at FPP Owen McCafferty Lab.
Oh, no kidding.
We've picked up the slack internally.
He's set up a lab.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yes.
That'll keep him busy.
Yeah, we have been doing...
I'll keep the little fella busy.
It's going to kill you.
Why?
Anyhow, we got to go.
All right, yeah, we got to wrap this up.
Thank you, everybody. So when I say, hey, it's the Film Photography Podcast, and we're sponsored by you. We're sponsored by you.
Thank you.
We're here for you. Film photography, motion picture photography. If it's on a piece of film or coated on a piece of plastic, glass, or tin, we're here.
Tin
Type.
Oh, right. Yeah,
So,
tin.
yeah, nice and tin. Nice and tick.
Tin and tick.
I'll tell you, if we go to a video podcast,
Yeah.
I could stream in all the commercials from the 70s.
Oh,
We
be
talk
great.
about all these pop culture references because John and I grew up in the New York area and we were exposed to all these things like the Ragu commercial where it's a guy sitting like an Italian guy and he's like, it's nice and tick, which would be considered racist today.
It probably would. It would raise eyebrows.
But those commercials live on.
Yeah. What was that? The guy about he's like, "Mamma mia, that's some spicy meatball."
That one?
Remember that?
Right.
Was that for Alka-Seltzer? I think because he ate
maybe.
that spicy meatball and he got agita, so he had to take Alka-Seltzer.
And then there was that show on Broadway. I think Danny Aiello was in it. It was like she's hitting him. She's like, take human bites.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
What show
I
was
don't
that?
know. That's interesting.
Take human, the show. These,
Yeah.
and of course this is the classic. The guy who's promoting the classic albums.
Oh, the British band.
Yeah, it's like
It's like 84 opera greats.
Right.
20th century.
Time Life Collection.
That's right. I have those. I have 43 opera classics.
Really? Can I borrow those?
You can have them.
Oh, I would like
I'm
that.
going to sell them on the bay
Yeah.
for $1.
So podcast at filmphotographyproject.com.
Yes, indeed.
I have no idea if this we do all these experiments with video, and the people at home listening to the regular podcast, the audio,
they
like,
have
I
no
don't even know
idea.
what they're talking about.
Exactly.
I never see no video.
Ain't no video.
It's no video.
You're good with film, not video, Mike. Let's face it.
Let's face it. So we're going to see you next time. We're going to have more shows thanks to you. Please consider being a super subscriber. Go to the site, hit donate. We're on the Instagram, Film Photography Project. We're on the YouTube. Please subscribe. If we get up to 30,000 subscribers on the YouTube, we're going to unlock our student films from the vault.
Oh, my God.
As we say every time, subscribers
Yeah,
start going
drop
down.
I'm unsubscribing when I get home.
And I just got a call from the TrackMan. He wants in. TrackMan, I went down to Florida about 5 years ago and recorded a FPP it was me and the TrackMan.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you air it?
Yeah. part of the show.
What show?
Yeah, this show.
Oh.
So we're going to see you next time.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.